So I'm really pleased to say that I've got a couple of guests that I'll be talking to very briefly. They have an exciting new initiative that they want to share with us, and I'm going to tell you more about it. Well, basically, it's called Qcast, and it's a new and exciting social media platform. It's a new format, a new digital productivity tool centered around questions. Now, we're going to get into the detail of that. Well, I'm really pleased to say, but I'm joined by the co-founders, Shabazz and Tayo Dada. Let me just bring the gentlemen in. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing?
Very
Hi,
well.
Howie. How are you, sir? Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, look at that. It's so good to see you both. It's been a while since we've met face to face, but this is the next best thing, right?
Absolutely.
It's been ages, isn't it? How long have we known each other?
Well, how long we've known each other? Then, well, I think we're looking best part of I say 25 years.
25 years. Wow.
25 years. So
you're a legend, and you don't look a day older, mate.
Well, coming from you, that's an honor. So it's great to talk to you both. We're talking about Qcast. You guys are the co-founders,
Awesome.
and I first met you both at the Step Forward Awards, and I was like, and let me be upfront from now, right? This is my there's no ulterior motive here, but knowing the name Shabazz Graham, who is legendary in the UK circles, right? If your name's on it, you don't put your name to anything. So it's got to be decent. Wow. So first of all, I was attracted knowing it's Shabazz involved, so it's got to have some kind of quality behind it. Okay, so guys, tell us about Qcast and what it's about, and we'll get into some more questions.
So first of all, we want to just thank you very much for inviting us to this interview, to this platform. So my name is Shabazz Graham, as you've heard, and Tayo Dada is my co-founder, best friend and business partner. Tayo and myself know each other from, what was it, secondary school? Was it? No, college, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Ages ago. And basically Qcast, which means question cast, is a platform centered and based all around the power of questions. I'm speaking now because I'm responding to a question that you've just asked me. Questions are intrinsic to who we are as humans. One of the key aspects of what makes us human is the insight that makes us want to ask questions, and the insight that allows us to respond to questions and answer questions. So about 6 years ago now, just over 6 years ago, I lost a dear friend, a gentleman called Phil Taylor, best friend, one of my best friends next to Tayo, and also a filmmaker like myself. And when he passed, like we do when we have people that we lose, I started to ask myself a lot of existential questions, and it made me also think about how technology plays a part in those questions. It made me kind of think, why are we here? What are we doing? What is Facebook? What is Twitter? What's going to happen to all of my Instagram posts when I'm gone? And these big questions connected to tech made me kind of say, we need to actually use technology, which is one of the best servants of mankind. It's one of the biggest things that serves us. It's allowing us to communicate now. We need to use technology to somehow create legacy and sustain our lives. And off the back of that, Qcast was born. The ability to share questions with one another here and hereafter.
Beautiful. Yeah. First of all, sorry for the loss of your friend, and that's at such a young age, you always have these what on earth is going on? It's heartbreaking. Right. But out of that, Qcast is here. So you mentioned that so you said that you're a filmmaker. Tayo, tell us about your background and how you became involved in this.
Well, it's funny enough. So, obviously from knowing Shabazz, but, before that, I've always had a massive interest since I was in, in my early, around about 9-10 years of age, into computers. And I was involved in, trying to hack and trying to work out how computers work and stuff like that, and all types of things growing up. And so I've been heavily involved in software development and cybersecurity from a young age. And so, speaking to Shabazz, one thing I've always found out is, especially coming from the idea or mentality of working in cybersecurity, is the way that a hacker breaks into a network is by bombarding the network with so much data and information that the company doesn't know what to do with it. And this is known as a denial of service attack.
Wow.
And the reason why I mentioned that is, one thing I found out is there's so much, we're being bombarded every day with social media, so much information in the news, and it's very frivolous. You know, it's like what's important, what isn't important. You know, so we have facts, which is there's plentiful amount of information that is very factual and a lot of trivial information. But then you have insight and wisdom, which is much harder to find and get your hands on. And so reading the day, I was like, hold on, I've never used a platform or social media platform or ever heard of anything that allows you to focus on the individual and focus on the insight that you're getting, rather than someone just speaking at you. They're asking to engage with you. And so when Shabazz told me about the story about film and, you know, what happened, it made me look at my life and look about, am I asking the right questions to people? Do people know enough about me if I left this? Do people know, have I asked enough questions to my peers and my mentors around me? And Qcast has made so much sense. And so, you know, I happily jumped on to the ship with Shabazz, and, you know, we've been sailing every fourth on it. And so I think it's in it. And also, I think first and foremost is that I always I choose character over experience. So, you know, I don't want to be involved working with people that might be highly educated and blah, 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 but they've got terrible characters. So when I always call Shabazz the media man, you know, all the old visual Shabazz, I always call him the media man. And when I heard what he told me about it, I thought, you know what, we can, you know, we're close enough. And imagine if we work together, I bring the tech, he brings the creativity, the vision. It's just made a lot of sense for us. So it's been a pleasure.
He's brought more than the tech, mate. He's been the bedrock, Howie. Honestly, he's been one of the best things that has happened to the idea, because you can have ideas, but you need to take your ideas almost to someone who can make that idea actualized. And Tyler was that guy, man. And I genuinely thank God for him. I didn't think we'd have such a heart to heart in this interview, Tyler, but thank you. You've been the bedrock of Qcast, man.
You know, I
goes off of that, because it's not been easy in terms of the challenges that we face as a company. But like I said, when you're working with someone that like I said, most businesses fail because of the relationships at the top of the business. And so working with Shabazz has made it easy, even though we go through ups and downs trying to, if it's not financial, if it's not strategic, if it's not operational, we've managed to fare and get through it together. And that's been really a testament to just working together. So awesome.
All about effective collaboration.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Talk to me about how this works in practice. Give us an example if you can.
So the way that Qcast works, very simply, it's a video-based platform. I've distilled my 30 years of being in film and TV into the power of questions and into recognizing that questions are the answer. Distilled that 30 years into a video-based platform that allows for an individual to record themselves rather answering a question, asking a question. So they record themselves for a maximum of 60 seconds to begin with, asking a question, you know, giving a context as the question of why they're asking the question, and then maybe something like, what can we do to change climate change? They record that question. It's recorded in a circular format. All of our video is circular based, which we're hopefully changing the industry by applying a different look and feel. And they upload that to the Qcast cloud. That sits on their profile, very much like a post sits on your social media profile. People come along, or you send that to other people, and they can click a magic button, Howie. This is a button that no other social media platform has.
Yeah.
It's a button called simply respond. When they click the respond button, they're able, this is the second user, they're able to record themselves answering that question. And so it basically, it's a video-based platform which allows for an individual to share a video question and another individual to respond to that video-based question with a video themselves. And they create what's called a Qcast conversation, which is the question and the answer in a very nice package that an individual can respond to. And it's not just one question, it can be a series of questions. In our first release, we're allowing you to ask 3 questions. So technically, you could basically, this could have been a Qcast conversation that, you know, you recorded your questions and me and Tayo came and responded to your questions. And the actual result would be like the interview or a podcast, the actual packaged final conversation of the question and the answer. So our platform in short is a question and answer based platform, video based platform that allows for two individuals never met before, halfway across the world, to have a conversation through video. That's the simplicity of what we bring as Qcast.
It sounds great. What's been the feedback so far?
Feedback's been great, hasn't it, Tayo? We've had so much people actually say, why hasn't this been created before? Where was this? We've basically been able to have the pleasure of our senior advisor, who is a gentleman called Tim Kobe, who is he basically was the answer to the question that Steve Jobs, the well-known Steve Jobs had a question one day, which is, how can I sell the iPhone to the world? And he created this thing called the Apple Store. You've kind of heard of the Apple Store. Tim Kobe was the gentleman who helped him create the Apple Store. Tim Kobe basically is our senior advisor. He's known as Apple's best kept secret. He absolutely loves Qcast because he sees it as such an applicable platform that can, in essence, Howie, respond to the needs of many different industries. Because one thing that's consistent in every industry, including your industry as a radio presenter, is questions. Whether you're a scientist, science is questions. Medical science is questions. Politicians have to have question time and respond to question. Journalism and media is all based around questions. You know, what we're really passionate about, which is why you saw us at Step Forward, we're passionate about the questions that songwriters and musicians have for their fans and fans have for their songwriters. If the average fan of Ed Sheeran had an opportunity to ask Ed Sheeran 100 questions, they would have 100 questions for Ed, because everyone wants to ask questions to the people that move them, and musicians and songwriters obviously move us. And so that's what we feel is one of the USPs that we have in Qcast, the ability to engage, allow people to engage through the power of what we call catalytic questions.
You know, you made a point about people having free questions.
Yeah.
What happens after you've asked your free questions?
Tayo?
Yeah, so I mean, the thing about it is that we're trying to, I mean, what we want to do is by reducing the number of questions down, what it then makes you do as an individual is think a bit more deeply about the questions you want to ask, rather than say you can ask 100 questions. And so just in that environment, by asking a few number of questions, it allows you to really focus on the types of quality of question that you're answering. Now, what we're trying to do is we're currently in soft launch phase, where in essence we have launched an application available on Google Play and Apple stores right now. But what we're trying to do is make sure we understand exactly how users are using it, what the pluses and the minuses are, and making sure that we can tweak our offering before we really go out and do a proper launch. And one of the things, by reducing the number of questions down, what it does, it allows people to be pertinent, straight to the point, very succinct in their conversation in terms of questions that they're asking. And so that we find that the questions are a lot more insightful and a lot more meaningful. But you do have the ability in the platform, and the platform will have the ability to where you can actually create a series of questions. So for example, we got questions from, we have what's known as our spotlight, which in essence is an environment where within the platform where we can spotlight particular questionnaires.
Questions, yeah.
Our Qcasters are asking questions, and they may have opportunity, depending on what subscription they've got, to ask a lot more questions to their customers or to their consumers or to their users or the viewers or whoever. So that is available. So we can switch beyond free questions, but initially it's free questions for everyone who joins on the platform and uses it.
But just to say as well, Howie, so after those 3 questions have been responded to, the individual, whether it's the questioner, who we call the Qcaster, or the responder, the person who's responded to the question, they can share that Qcast conversation to the other social media platforms. Because what we see as one of our USPs is you get FaceTime with some of your, biggest celebrities. We did an amazing Qcast with Graham Kendrick on the red carpet of the Step Forward. He was asking his audience, of all of my, Graham Kendrick, to those who don't know, just celebrated his 50th year in music. So he's got a lot of music songs.
Yeah.
He asked his Qcast question was, of all my songs, what is your favorite? And I can't wait to see people respond to that question and give him the reason as to why a certain song is their favorites. And Graham Kendrick might, out of 100 or 1,000 people, Graham might think, oh, that response was really nice. Let me share that to my Twitter platform or to Instagram or to my other social media platforms so people can hear what my music does to them. So like with the power of the response of any question or any good question, you might want to share that in the form of a podcast or in the form of some content that gives people a sense of what your platform is doing. We really want to get Boris on. If you know Boris, tell him to come to Qcast, because I really want him to ask a couple of questions that people respond to. And I know it's going to be, it'll be all over, mate.
Yeah.
But isn't it lovely when you know, I genuinely, no, to be serious though, I do want to get Barack Obama on. I want to get, you know, Oprah Winfrey, all these big players who are used to answering questions and also asking great questions. And I genuinely would love to just see them have the opportunity to respond to questions by people that don't normally get to ask them questions.
I think one thing is, what's quite an amazing phenomena is that people talk less about the products and more about what it gives them.
What it gives them, yeah.
And that's what's really quite amazing, is that I always say the best tech in the world is the tech you can't see, you know. And, you know, the aim for us is really to create that human connection between two individuals or an individual and a crowd of people, and allow them to be able to interface one with another, which in this world that we live in is so difficult right now.
Yeah.
And so I think,
yeah,
you know, the key thing for us really in the day, when it comes to customer responses or hearing back from people using the platform, is they love to hear the different questions that are coming through, what you brought out of them from an emotional perspective. I think that's been really quite amazing for us.
Absolutely.
So who would you say is your target market?
Very good question. Very good question. So in truth, so we've got a number of different tiers or different sectors. We feel, in essence, anyone who's curious is our target market, because you ask a question based on your curiosity. But we think that we have a very strong lead-in audience in, say, those that might be, say, influencers or thought leaders, educators who are used to engaging with an audience through the power of question. Everyone who has a podcast wants to get engagement, which is why we like when people, you know, comment on our YouTube videos and ask a question or respond. And also when I say thought leaders, I'm speaking about authors. I'm speaking about the likes of, say, Tony Robbins, people who live and breathe on the desire to help people through mentorship programs by responding to good questions and asking good questions to help people change lives, you know. And so we also feel that so in essence, our target market would be anyone who has good questions that they want to share to engage with an audience, in essence. Which brings me also on to say that, like, the Christian, you know, the gospel industry, musicians, church leaders, faith-based leaders. I mean, faith-based leaders, in essence, every preacher on the planet shares a question in some sort when he stands on a pulpit and preaches. A sermon is normally a question. I'm going to ask a question about this scripture, and I'm going to give you my response to that question, or I'm going to use this scripture to ask you a question. And so that engagement, like I said before, what makes us human is the ability to respond to questions and ask questions and learn from them and change our lives. Because there's an MIT professor known as Hal Gregerson, who's one of our heroes, who basically says, behind every breakthrough, there is a better question. You know, if someone's struggling with mental health, or someone going to a counselor, someone wanting help, normally goes because they want that counselor to ask them a better question than their family or Joe Blogs or anyone else can ask them. Because in response to that better question, there will be a breakthrough that can turn that person's life around. You've got ex-criminals who have come out of prison, changed their lives just because someone had the time to ask them a question. People who have become Christians or any other faith and changed their lives around just because someone stopped them in the street and said something that was evangelistic, but it was a good question that got to them and helped them transform their lives.
It's I'm loving all of that. I think it just sounds so incredible. I think it's exciting because of the opportunity that it brings, and actually, you know, I potentially see this snowballing of this because it's different. It sounds quite unique, you know, maybe people are so used to typing, but because of the because of the ability to actually connect with whoever and ask anything,
Yeah.
as they say, the world is your oyster. So it's beautiful. Tell us
And
how.
I love the fact that you highlighted that, actually, Howie, that
Yeah.
I really love that it's not going to be just a polarized platform, which you know, we only want questions in this specific area. You know, you could ask questions about climate change, about faith, about music, about, you know, we've got Clinton Jordan on, who's basically done a powerful Qcast where he's a vocal coach, he's a motivational vocal coach, and he's asking questions to help people learn to use their voice. And that would be next to a Tim Kobe Qcast where he's asking questions from his book about the return on experience, which was the topic of his recent book. And so there can be, Qcast would be for anyone who has a question to share about anything.
Well, I'm really looking to see how this is going to unravel. It sounds great. It sounds great. Tell us how we can, and the listeners, viewers can find out more information, get involved, and have a test run, as it were.
Do you want to answer that, T?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as mentioned, we're available in the Apple Store and also in the Google Play Store. And Qcast is spelled with a Q as in Quebec. So Q as a question cast. So Qcast.io. You can also visit our website, Qcast.io, as well, to visit us.
We can see it on your top there, Qcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all there.
we got the merch.
Yeah.
Qcast, the insight space.
The insight space. Yeah, we call ourselves the insight space because it's the USP of what we offer is insight, really. Yeah.
Insight, absolutely. So
and
yeah,
you can find us on all social media platforms as well. So check out Qcast questions on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, but also on Qcast.
Yeah.
Find us on Qcast.
Qcast.io.
Qcast.io, yeah.
Okay.
Qcast.io. I mean, what would be amazing is that, you know, anyone who's listening, just feel free to jump onto the platform, you know, look at some of the questions and some of the responses that are on there, ask a question, you know, get involved, and, you know, but feel free to just, you know, try things out. You know, I think you'll find it's a different experience to any other social media platform you've ever been on in your life.
Absolutely. And I will say unashamedly, Howard, we need the support of our tribes and of our community, of our demographics. We recognize who we are, and we recognize that there is expectation due to us as a result of the communities we come from, whether that's the Black community or the Christian community or all the communities of who we are as a team.
Yeah.
We need your support because it's a good idea, but it only becomes an idea that takes traction if we get people using the platform. And so we would hope that people listening, even if you don't want to ask questions, or even if you don't want to put your face on camera, you just want to listen to questions or you listen to responses, sign up to Qcast. We need your support in the same way that you sign up to some of these social media platforms and you don't use them for a year. Sign up to Qcast. Hopefully you'll use it within a year, but, you know, come and use it, because the thing that will make this thing work is if we have people wanting to have conversations on our platform, because we in essence just want to host conversations. And one thing I will say as well, we've learned from the mistakes of other social media platforms. So we're not going to be throwing tons of advertisements at your face. We're not going to be data mining your data. This is a platform which will be an ethical social media platform where we will use our efficacy, you know, and our ethos and our moral compass to protect your data and to protect your questions, to ensure that you have healthy conversations. We're not inviting trolls in. If you want to come and troll, it's going to be a difficult place to troll because it's a video-based platform for a reason. We want to have face-to-face communication again, rather than just these keyboard warriors that want to insult and, you know, troll people. So we're very mindful of that, Howie.
Well, we're looking forward to it. What we're going to do, you know, we're going to give it a little time. We're going to, you know, support you, spread the word, and we'll talk again. We'll talk again, and we'll have a follow-up call to see how things are going as well. So I really, really wish you guys well.
Thank you very much, Howie. We really appreciate it.
Good time today.
So Tayo and Shabazz, bless you both. I really wish you well. Indeed.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers,
Howie. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.